Good day once again. Mr. Taubo Maupa again. I'm back on this platform to share the information about security courses. It has been a while because I'm doing a lot of undertakings also, as well as practical teaching, doing classes and things like that. So sometimes time is not there to save for a video because I have to do research, I have to set up, the whole operation and things like that. Right, so now today I'm going to be presenting module 12, grade E still, like I told you in my last installment when I was doing module 11, basic radio and telephone communications. I told you that we are only left with two modules, which is module 12, basic legal aspects, as well as module 13, which is called industrial relations. So today we are going to be discussing about basic legal aspects. That is module 12, grade E. Right. Legal aspects can be defined as a set of rules which define the legal rights of security officers with regard to arrest, searching, and custody within the framework of the law. That is basic legal aspects in security circles. It guides us in our line of duty because if you make a wrongful arrest, it can turn back against you. The people can sue you and your company, and you end up working for to compensate the people that you have wrongly arrested. That is why they need you to have basic legal aspects knowledge so that it will be easy when you are working. You know exactly when to arrest a person. You don't suspect, and then the suspicion is proved to be otherwise, and then you understand it will be a false arrest, or I don't know how to call it, but people are likely to sue you, those who can. Right. So, being a set of rules that define the legal rights of security officers with regard to arrest, searching, and custody within the framework of the law. Right. Before we go any further, I just wanted to list down the objectives of this module. Objective number 1. On completion of this module, you must be able to practice the legal aspects that you have learned, right? Number 2, you must know the basic legal requirements for registration. Because when you finish training, you don't just walk into the field and say, I got a certificate. No, it has to go through accreditation body, which is the security officers body, or here in South Africa, we call it SIRA, P-SIRA, or Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority. That is the one that certifies and gives the government license for you to be permitted to work as a security officer. So there is a registration process that goes on there, which is the one they say you must have knowledge of the registration requirements, the basic ones, for somebody in order to be inducted into the security force. You must have that knowledge. We want to come to those requirements though. Then, number 2, you must know reasons for withdrawal. What makes them to withdraw your registration? Then you will be deregistered or suspended. You must know the reasons for withdrawal. Right. Then after that, we are going to be dealing with the Schedule 1 offenses, what they call Schedule 1 offenses, which fall under the powers of arrest of a security officer. And we, a security officer and a private person, have got the same powers. You understand? So if you arrest as a community, you arrest somebody, the same powers you have is the same powers the security officer has got. So Section 42 provides for that, which are the powers and where and when and how. Understand? Then after that, we're going to go to Section 39, which is the manner of effecting an arrest, how you can arrest a person, literally, practically. Right? It's it also stipulates that. Then we've got what we call Section 20, seizure of articles which the state may seize, which means the things that the government or the police can take away from you if found in your possession. That is Section 20, where we've got 3 articles. Right. So those are the objectives, the things that they expect you to have gained knowledge of in these sessions. Right. So now we begin at the beginning. Right. Basic legal aspects, like they say, it defines the legal rights of security officers with regard to arrest, searching, and custody within the framework of the law. What is law? According to how I have tried to research, a law is a rule of conduct to which everybody must conform, you understand, or abide by as a civilized citizen, something like that. So that is, I think, that's the scope of law, or the legal rules that guides people in terms of behavior and interaction and so on. But that's law, right? Law is divided into 3 types. Number 1, we've got common law. 2, we've got statutory law. Number 3, we've got criminal law. This is the one for us now. Criminal law, that's where security based their legal aspects there on criminal law, because we're dealing with crime. Right. So when they say common law is that law that applies in a society in a common manner. Let's say they find you sleeping with somebody's wife, you have to pay a cow, you understand, things like that traditionally. That is what we call common law. You go and pay lobola, that's the bride price for your bride. And we call that common law. It has to be done. There's no courts needed. You just go to the chief and you do it. That's, traditionally how we do it, black people. That is common law. In other countries, if you steal, they chop your hands off. You understand? It's common law. It applies only in those parts of the world. Right. Then we got what we call statutory. Statutory is in the statute books. When they say statute books, we talk about the law books that are there. People who study law in universities, and the behavior of people determines which are the penalty to put into the statute books regarding a certain crime, because new crimes are erupting every day. Different types of new crimes. So they have to make a legislation about it to say if you commit this, then maybe it wasn't there in the history of the country. It's just starting to emerge now. So that is why they call it statutory. It's actually passed through the jurisdiction of a certain country. Right, that is statutory law. It's from within the books. Chapter so and so, act so and so, things like that. Then number 3, we've got criminal law. Criminal law is what deals with crime and the punishment thereto. Right? The court decides the offense that you have committed, you are going to punish you so much. You understand? They've got penalties already laid out for various crimes, so they know what to do when you commit theft, when you commit robbery. They've got years already set aside for such crimes. Depending on the seriousness. You understand? All right. So that is what we call criminal law. And security deal with criminal law, because we are dealing with crime on a daily basis. Right. Under criminal law, let's check what is crime first, because criminal comes from the word crime. Crime can be defined as any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state, which means anything that you do intentionally, breaking the law, we call it crime. Or what is crime? Robbery. It's a crime. But if you use any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state, you would have generalized everything. So that is the definition of crime. The question says define crime. Then you say crime is any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state finished, and I think it's carrying 2 marks or something like that. Right. Then we come now to what they call the requirements for registration to be a security officer. The one I said, the security bodies or the security body in your country, which was formed by various service providers in the same industry, is the one that controls accreditation and certification and licensing of all security officers. So the requirements are these. Number one, you must be 18 of age. They don't register minors. 2, you must not have been convicted of a criminal offense, which means no crime record. Number 3, you must not have been found guilty of misconduct, no matter what type of misconduct, right? Number 4, you must not be of unsound mind. Your mind has to be together. They don't give insane people certification and accreditation. Sorry about that. All right. And number 5, you should not have been convicted of murder, things like that. Right. So those are the requirements. If you have been found guilty of any of those, then you shall be guilty of an offense. Then they cannot qualify you to be a security officer. They won't certify or accredit you. Right. Then we come to the reasons for withdrawal, why they take it away from you. They will take it only on condition you do one of the following. 1, if you gave false information upon registration. 2, if you are found guilty of a criminal offense. 3, if you are found guilty of misconduct. 4, if you become of unsound mind. Then they will take it away because you won't be qualifying due to your status. Very good. All right. Then we come to what they call Schedule 1 offenses. Schedule 1 offenses, these are the very, very serious offenses. If you are caught doing any one of them, you will surely be arrested and go to jail. Right. Number 1, we got murder. 2, we got rape. 3, robbery. 4, housebreaking. 5, arson. 6, trespassing. 7, theft. 8, fraud. 9, forgery. 10, arson. It's a lot. You know these crimes we're talking about. Why people are burning other people with tires because of committing such crimes in the community, and the community will be fed up. Then they just take the law into their own hands. It's happening on a daily basis, especially here in South Africa. It's been happening for quite some time. You understand? Mob justice comes through frustration, things like that. Right. So those are what we call the Schedule 1 offenses or special criminal offenses or the serious offenses. The question comes saying, list 6 Schedule 1 offenses. Then you just choose from that list: murder, rape, housebreaking, and so on. Right. Then we come now to the powers of arrest. Those are the powers of the security officer, which has been given and is regulated by the security body, right, or the authority. Those powers of arrest, they are contained in what they call Section 42 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977, which clearly stipulates that a security officer, just like a private person, which means a security officer and a private person, their powers of arrest are on the same level. He has got to arrest, number 1, without a warrant. He doesn't need a warrant if you see you stealing, he's just arrest you. Right? Number 2, any person who commits or attempts to commit a crime in his presence, which means if you try to commit a crime and he's watching you, he will arrest you at the same time. Right. Number 3, any person who is escaping from lawful custody, meaning to say maybe some people are after him, they're running after him, say, hey, stop thief, stop thief. And you trap him and then get hold of him. You also have the powers to do that. Then number Number 5, a private person or owner of private property is the same powers. He may arrest also any person who commits or attempts to commit a crime in his presence. A private person or owner of private property, he has also the powers to arrest somebody like that. Or number 6, security officer has got the powers to arrest any person whom he sees engaged in an affray. What is an affray? Affray is disorder, you understand? They have also powers to arrest you in that state. And then finally, the security officer may arrest any person whom he is by law authorized to arrest in respect of any Schedule 1 offense, which means you have powers to arrest any person who commit any one of those offenses: murder, rape, robbery, what, and so on. So those are what we call the powers of arrest, which are contained in section 42 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. Right, let's go now to the manner of effecting an arrest. How do you arrest somebody? There's certain steps that you take which are legally provided there. Number 1, you touch the person, you inform him of the arrest. 2, 3, you give reason for the arrest. 4, ask him nicely to accompany you to lawful custody, which is police station or somewhere. And then if he agrees, then the arrest is complete. But if he resists, then you use minimum force to suppress him so that you can be able to arrest and control him until you hand him over to the police. Those are what we call the manner of effecting an arrest, section 39. So the question just says list 5 under the manner of effecting an arrest, which is section 39 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. That is how you arrest a person. Then we come now to what they call searching with consent. That is searching with permission from the person who you search or want to search. So if you search that person with consent, which means the person agreed to be searched, right? So we call it searching with consent. There's certain requirements for searching a person with his or her consent. You don't just search. Number 1, the person must be capable to exercise his own will. He must not undergo duress or being forced. Right? Number 2, the person must not be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Right? The person must not be under the age of 18, must not be a minor. Right? Those are the things that are falling under the requirements for searching a person with his or her consent. Things like body search does not mean consent to handbag search. Searching must be conducted within the bounds of the Criminal Procedure Act, which is the bounds of the law. You understand? So that is how it happens. That is what we call the requirements of searching with consent. Right. The person must not be under the influence of alcohol. Number 2, he must have authority to search for he must have authority to he must have the authority to give consent. Yeah. He must have the authority to give consent, must not be under the age of 18, must not be under the influence of alcohol, drugs. The person must not be pressured, must not be under duress. You understand? Right. So that is now searching with consent. So that to round off the legal aspects, when you are arresting people, when you have arrested a person, you must try to take those people according to the code of conduct as soon as possible to the police station. Because the longer you delay, the more that person can resist and maybe break free and harm you. understand? So you have to report those people and hand them over to the police. Legally, they say within 24 hours, but it's even too late. Just take them after you have verified everything, and then that's it. Then you know the case is in the hands of the police, because security are not like tougher than the police. They've got all the resources. So arrest and then you hand over. Right. When you're practicing the powers of arrest, you must remember the guidelines, who you can arrest and when, right? And also there's a question about powers of arrest, which says list 5 powers of arrest. Right? Number one, with or without a warrant. Number two, who commits or attempt to commit a crime in his presence. Number three, who commits a crime and is escaping from lawful custody. Number four, whom is authorized to arrest uh, in respect of any Schedule 1 offense. 5, who is engaged in an affray. 6, the lawful occupier or owner of private property may arrest any person who commits or attempts to commit a crime in his presence. So that is all about the legal aspects, grade E. Basically, they give you about 2 questions. Question 1, what is crime, or define crime, which is any unlawful human conduct punishable by the state. Question 2 lists 5 requirements for registration. Number 1, you must be 18 years of age. 2, you must be a South African citizen. 3, you must not have been found guilty of a criminal offense. 4, you must not have been found guilty of misconduct. 5, you must not be of unsound mind. 6, the directors of a security company must also be registered by the board. You can't register a company with only a PTY or private limited without security grades. They won't give you accreditation to register a company if you are not registered by the board, which means if you are not trained as a security officer. So it's a pre-requirement. Right. Then question 3 can come saying list 3 reasons for withdrawal, which are the reasons why they take it away after having given it to you. It's because number 1, if you give false information upon registration. 2, if you have been found guilty of a criminal offense. 3, if you have been found guilty of misconduct. 4, if you become of unsound mind, then they can take it away. I think basically those are the 3 questions. Other question papers, because it's not only one question paper, but question 1, question 2, question 3. Understand? They differ a little bit, but still basically with the same content. So it can come saying these 5 powers of arrest, then you give those 5 powers of arrest I just gave you. If it comes saying list the manner of effecting an arrest, then they give you for 5 points, then you just list what I just gave you. Inform the person, give reason, ask to accompany to lawful custody. You understand? You just put all that stuff there. I think that's all in legal aspects, which is basic grade E, module 12. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And then I'm coming tomorrow with module 13, which is the last module of grade E, which is industrial relations. Have a nice day. God bless you. Thank you.